Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Ladies and gentlemen, my question is this. Will the American people, well, more importantly, will the people of the world fall for this all over again? And what do I mean by fall for this? Well, that's coming up here in a little bit. So I'm going to provide you all with a little reminder of what's happened in the last couple of years. But now it seems that we have a new crisis in our hands. Isn't that something? Nowadays, life is nothing but crises. Why do you think that is? Do you know that with crises, governments can get more control? Did you know that, ladies and gentlemen? Because with crises, government thrives. Why? Because there's so many people out there that live in a world of not even normalcy bias. That's one thing. But the word is cognitive dissonance. That's what I'm thinking about. So many people out there that suffer from cognitive dissonance. And for those of you who don't know what that means, cognitive dissonance is when you tell yourself that, yeah, even though this is wrong, it's being done for the right reasons. So let's say, for example, the last couple of years, right, with that health crisis that was going on, even though deep inside, most people understand that freedom reigns, that freedom is the best thing for humanity, that humans thrive more with freedom than with servitude. Even though people know that, they're like, yeah, well, I'm willing to give up my freedom. I'm willing to give up my freedom because it's for safety. It's for safety. So even though they know in the back of their heads that they were giving up their own sovereignty, giving up their freedoms, it's for safety, so it's got to be a good thing. That's cognitive dissonance. It's like the dollar, the US dollar. We all know, at least us that are in the know, we know that the US dollar is the biggest Ponzi scheme in the history of mankind. We know that the US dollar is used to enslave us, to steal our labor, which is what enslavement is when your labor is being taken from you, either voluntarily or involuntarily, all right? And in this case, you can say it's involuntarily. Because at the end of the road, if you don't want to participate in this system, you go to jail. They use violence against you to have you do what, or the threat of violence against you to have you do what they want you to do. So how many people are going to fall for it this time around? I'm going to talk about the previous health crisis here in a minute, because I have something to share with you that maybe most of you have not seen. But here, Mr. Snyder from SHTF Plan says, is this a coincidence? Monkeypox has arrived in time to save 2 smallpox vaccine companies. I don't even know if I can say any of those words on YouTube, to tell you the truth. So I wouldn't be surprised if this video either gets blocked or demonetized or censored in one way or another. I hope it doesn't. So from now on, I will start to use code words. Okay? Here we go. He says these coincidences keep popping up. This monkey thing, that's a good name for it, all right? There's our code word. This monkey thing has arrived in just enough time to save 2 American companies, all right? 2 American pharma companies, let's say. Just 2 weeks ago, both corrupt big pharma companies were in a rough financial spot. As concerns over this monkey thing grow following the fear-mongering of the ruling class in the mainstream media, and of course, it is fear-mongering. Fear rules, ladies and gentlemen. Fear sells. That is why whenever I put out a video about human beings loving each other and caring about each other, it gets 1/10 of the views of a video that I put out that's telling you, hey, you need to prepare because of this. Not that those videos have any less validity, because in my opinion, they have a lot of validity, that we do need to prepare. And we do need to prepare for a food shortage that will be coming. All right? But that people would rather listen to those things than to listen to a message of peace and love. And he goes on to say here that these 2 companies pretty much have a monopoly on this monkey juice that's going to be produced. And that, let me see, one of them has climbed 12% on Thursday as far as their stock, and the other one climbed 17.1%. The monkey thing outbreak is especially good for one of these companies because they produce a smallpox treatment, which is also known by the brand name T-Pox. while some outlets have noted that the rise in the valuation of this company has coincided with recent concerns about the monkey thing, essentially no attention has been given to the fact that the company is apparently the only piece of a powerful billionaire's empire that isn't currently crumbling. So what they're saying, ladies and gentlemen, is that even though the stock market is crumbling, these companies are now thriving. I'm sure the military-industrial complex companies are as well, with as many munitions as we are shipping overseas. I'm just really curious if the people will fall for it again, because they fell for it the first time. Oh, AP, wait a minute, AP. That first time, that was a real thing. Absolutely it was. I agree 100%. That health crisis that we've been through, and I think we're still going through, at least in China they are, it is a real thing, ladies and gentlemen. But so is the annual FLU. So is that. That's a real thing also. But never in my life have I seen a world locked down. Have I seen people's lives ruined. People who spent their entire lives building a business to feed their families ruined. Never in my life have I ever seen the middle class be eviscerated in the manner that it was in the last 2 years over a FLU. Because that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm pretty sure that the pharma companies, I'm pretty sure they got very, very wealthy. And many other industries got very wealthy. But the problem with that is, I'm not opposed to capitalism. I think that you ought to be able to get paid what you earn. If you make a flip-flop and 1 billion people love it, and you sell 1 billion people that flip-flop because they want it and voluntarily purchase it from you, then by all means, you deserve to be a billionaire. If you made $1 profit off of every flip-flop you sold, you deserve it. Because you traded something you created for $1 from someone who wanted that thing that you created. No problem with that. But when the government chooses who can stay open and who can close, then that's a totally different thing, ladies and gentlemen. But will you fall for it again? And again, for those of you that are wondering if the actions that the government took, in most part, all right, in most part, the actions that the government took was appropriate or not, let me go ahead and talk to you about a video that I put up on Rumble. Okay, I'll leave the link to this video. Let me see. Look at that. This is my mostly viewed videos on Rumble. 1,446 views. But I'll leave this video right here. I'll leave the link to this video in the description of the comments down there, so that you can come and take a look at it. And look at this right here. I actually break it down and do the math. I mean, look at that. You can see the calculator right there. I actually break this down and do the math on the 5 most restrictive and the 5 less restrictive states in the United States during our last health crisis, and actually break the numbers down for you. And you can see for yourselves. Just click on it. It's not a very long video. And I'll finish it off with this, ladies and gentlemen. The new WHO health crisis report once again proves Sweden right. What is it that they're proving Sweden to be right about? What I talked about on this video here on Rumble. That's what they're proving Sweden to be right about. So I'm not going to read this article here, but it pretty much shows that Sweden, which was one of the nations that had the least restrictions of any nations in the world, fell in line pretty much with everyone else and did actually better. They didn't have to crumble their economy. They didn't have to lock down and imprison their people in their own homes. They didn't have to encroach on the liberties of their people. They didn't have to ruin their people's lives by taking away their businesses by force. They decided to let nature take its course. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Nature found a mean. And Sweden made it out very well. Just like the states that put the least restrictive mandates in place, they themselves did a lot better than those states that had the most restrictive mandates. So you can take a look at that for yourself, but ask yourself this question: are you going to fall for it a second time? Are you? Because if you are, let me tell you what, you deserve exactly what you get. I am an empathetic person by nature, but there's only so much screaming that you can do. There's only so much warning that you can do. Some people want to be slaves, believe it or not. Some people think that the government should be in control. I mean, I've seen some prepper channels myself. I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus, but I've seen some prepper channels myself that I totally disagree with. I mean, how can you be a prepper, have a prepper mentality, and also be for socialism and communism? That I don't understand, ladies and gentlemen. I never will. But I digress. All right? I'm not trying to get into the negatives here. I'm trying to inform you that these crises will continue to happen. As long as the people continue to fall for it, these crises, they will continue to pop up. It's you that they're after, ladies and gentlemen. It's not your safety. It is you that they're after. It is your labor that they want, i.e. your freedom. So prepare accordingly. Have a great day, and God bless every one of you.